So now I'm making a video. This is right after I made that video. You can see the remaining glass of how to make a computer in Islands Part 1. It won't be posted for a while, probably about a week. I'm gonna try and get this one out today. This is the day that I made that video with Telanthric and everything, so it should get out late today. But basically, I'm gonna talk about some different build designs / uses for the electrical items. So first is the coal generator. The coal generator, I've got some over here. Basically, it takes coal and it converts it into electricity. So a lot of people, I've got it connected to my Firework Launchers right now, but a lot of people originally thought that this was just like it would make coal out of like a coal totem. A coal totem, if you don't know what a coal totem is, place one down, it'll spawn coal around it. So that's what some people were confused about originally when this update came out, but no, it's like a generator. If you know what a generator is, it takes like a different type of fuel and it turns it into electricity through a motor. So that's what this kind of does, but it's for coal and it makes electricity, which then you can use. So right now, they burn through a lot of coal, but they produce 40 power each, which is pretty crazy. And so yeah, this is what a coal totem does. It just creates coal. Because some of you guys were confused about that. I had to put that in there. I'm sorry. I don't think I already had one. No, I did not. I didn't make these because there's nothing too special about them, but if you have a conveyor next to them, I'm just going to use a chest actually. So if you have a conveyor or a chest or a totem or anything that puts items on here, it's pretty simple to understand what it's going to do. So basically you put power in through it, and then when you, and this is a great time to explain what an LED is. Basically, if something crosses the line, it will put out a signal. So here we go. So I put some coal in here, so it turns this on. And now you see there's a little line across it. So what's gonna happen is if we just put this right here, whenever an item crosses it, so I don't know, we'll just put some berries in here. Whenever one of those berries crosses it, it'll turn it on. You see it's like a button. So what you can do is you can use this to create a flashing sequence. Like you can make some different flashing setups and that sort of thing. Or what you can do is you can just, like, it's an interesting piece. So it can tell you when your auto farm's on or something like that. So next thing is a split conveyor. And essentially what happens, I'll just take this over here, I'll get a switch out, and I'll explain a switch at the same time for anyone who doesn't know what a switch is. So you just power it up, and so basically what happens is, just put more coal in here so we don't run out of power. When you turn on this switch, it turns on whatever's next to it. So it turns on whatever's next to it. And what happens with this is, so I'll put this chest back here again. If you were to put something in here again, set it to out, and then you switch it, you see this little arrow, it points over there. So whenever it's on, it goes that way, and whenever it's off, it just goes straight out. So that's kind of like you can pick which way it goes. I think that's kind of cool. It's very useful for a lot of different designs, and it can help you a lot with certain builds. Next on the list is a Firework Launcher. So a Firework Launcher will launch a firework out of it whenever it's turned on. So let me give you guys a quick example. We will plug this in along with the LED, and let me show you guys how this works. So essentially what I also want to show you is whenever you place an item down, most items at least, when you hold out your wire tool, you have a little light blue connector and you have a purple connector. A purple connector is where the power goes through. So basically, well, the light blue ones, that's for input, and this is basically an output. So when you turn this on, the power goes in through the LED in the blue port, and it comes out the purple port, and it goes into the firework launcher. Like whatever power is left makes its way into the firework launcher to power that. And you can do it as fast or slow as you want. Another cool feature is when you start off, you have 40 power from the coal generator. Then when you come out of the LED, you lose 1 power, and now you have 39. And when you come through here, you end up with 38. So essentially what happens every time you add a block like an LED, you lose 1 power because that LED uses 1 power. So it's just something for anyone that's new to the game that should help you. I'm just gonna quickly mention what the wire tool does. It's what I've been using. It's that little blue handled tool where it connects the 2 points. When you click on one and you click onto another, when you hold down click on one of the top parts when it's already wired, it'll break that wire after you hold down for a little bit. But now I'm gonna get on to AND gates, combiners, splitters, XOR gates, and OR gates. I'm going to explain what happens with every single one of these items. What happens with an AND gate is the output will only have power if both inputs have power. So if I were to just demonstrate this quickly, you take the pass-through, or the output, whichever you would like to call it, then you put it through the splitter. Now, you put it through. Okay, now let's turn it on. You see, oh look at that, there's power going in, but there's no power coming out, you see? Right here it says 20 power, right here there's 0 power. That's because both of these need to be turned on in order to get a power output, which they just turned off because the coal generator ran out of power. Now that the coal generator has more power in it, it comes through. One of the major weak points of using this setup, is the amount of power that comes through is only the maximum of power that you put through it. So essentially what happens, this is very interesting, I think this is a bug right now, but what happens is you only get as much power out as the highest value that you put in. So say you put 36 in and 36 in, you'll only get 36 out. It doesn't combine 36 and 36. If you put 36 and 9 in, you'll get 36. So don't try to have one as high as you want to come out, and then just have the other one to turn this on or off, basically. Next is the combiner. This is got the blue arrow. It's got 2 in ports and 1 out port. So essentially what happens with the combiner is it takes 2 power inputs and it makes them into 1. Unlike the AND gate, where it only takes the maximum amount of power and puts it through, it ignores the second power source. This combines both the first power source and the second power source. So it combines the first one and the second one, and it makes a stronger output. The splitter takes a strong output, and then when you press F on the splitter, you can change how much power goes to 1 and how much power goes to the other. So right now it's by default 50-50, so 50% of the power will come out this side and 50% will come out of this side. And then the XOR gate, essentially what happens to the XOR gate is it will only be on when one of the power sources is on. So say like the AND gate, this is like the exact opposite of the AND gate. But the AND gate, both of them have to be on for the output to be on. But for the XOR gate, one of them has to be on for the output to be on. And if both of them are on, the output will not work. It'll just be off if both of them are on. The OR gate over here, as far as I can tell, it's like a combiner. I'm not really sure how there's a difference between the combiner and the OR gate. You can let me know in the comments if you figured that out, but I don't see any difference. And then we have the button. It's like the switch, but it's a button. So we'll connect the input, and we'll connect the output. And then if you push this button, boom, it's on, and then it turns off. And it only turns on for so long. And the final item on the list is the timer. This is one of the interesting items on the list. So the timer will go on for 2 seconds, off for 2 seconds, on for 2 seconds, off for 2 seconds, and it will keep doing that as long as you supply it with power. That will happen forever. So it's some pretty cool builds. That's how I did this over here. I can show you guys how to do that if you want, but that's the final item, other than of course solar panels, which they're basically coal generators, but you don't have to put coal in them. The only flaw is they only work during the day. So this is a solar panel, and so during the daytime when it's sunny out, it will supply some power, and then that will give you power for whatever you're trying to build without having to put more coal into it, into the generator. So that's how all the items work. I hope this was helpful for anyone new to building with electric items. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.